Welcome to Fanboy and Critic, our show where we go see new movies on theaters and give you our review.
Both the good and the bad. I'm Joe Mortiz and I'll be your fanboy.
And I'm Sam Wike-McClure. I'll be your critic. This week on Fanboy and Critic, we went to go see Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 1. It is a Western. It's a Western that's telling several different tales across America's Old West, starring and directed and I believe written by Kevin Costner. It's also starring too many people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, but the notables are Jenna Malone, Luke Wilson,
There's so many. Sienna.
Michael Rooker, Sienna Miller.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. We'll just leave it at that.
You use that much this year?
Haven't had much need of it yet.
Looks like we got ourselves a bad man right here.
Kevin Costner, my boy's putting a lot into this. I think I heard a lot of stories about him putting like his fortune into these movies, the series that he wrote and directed. What did he do well? What's working here?
He did well of getting his message across the board. Like, I know this, like you said, this is a project that he definitely wanted to bring to life, and he's been working on it for years. And you know, after watching that 3-hour film, which is very long, he gets the point across. You know, he really wanted to show, you know, what the Western days were and, like, you know, the good and how ugly it gets. He's trying to tell you all these stories all in one. And that's kind of where he kind of lost me, because you don't know who to, you know, open your heart to. You're like, there's no one to really cheer for. I mean, you're cheering for everyone, but I think the actors, though, every actor that he chose was great. For each little story, they were perfect. It's such a jam-packed, like, all those actors put together on one screen is like awesome. Like, every single thing, like, did somewhat matter to me. It's just like trying to put all that together in one ball. He's gonna struggle a bit. I mean, that's probably why it was 3 hours long.
It was 3 hours long. I felt every minute of that.
Yeah, man. When you just go back to that time, it's not all that great. It is not all that great, and he does a good job at expressing that. And I think that was the strongest point in this movie.
We just got to keep going.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of just go in on it. It wasn't very good. I'll start off by saying positive things. It looked amazing. It looked like a very well shot, and the cinematography was great. I think the acting was pretty good. There is definitely some spots where I'm like, ooh, but the writing was bad. The dialogue writing first and foremost was not very good.
Oh, I actually like the dialogue. But hey,
I thought the dialogue was.
He's the real critic here. He loves Westerns.
The problem is it just takes me so out of the story when they're using like modern anachronisms and speaking like a modern day person. And I don't want to go. They have to meet in the middle, because like if you go full cowboy, full Old West, it's gonna sound silly. But it just takes me so far out of it when they're talking like normal everyday people. But then also like they had the Native Americans somewhat speaking the Native American language, but it sounded like they didn't. It was so slow and stuttered and stopped that it did not sound natural to them.
That did not. Yeah, it didn't sound natural. You're right about that.
It felt like somebody had done a translation, and then these people who didn't know, you know,
how
maybe they do, but it didn't appear that way on screen. I think the pacing was really bad. I mean, Kevin Costner, he shows up briefly in the beginning, and then he's not in it for 45 minutes. It's telling 3 or 4 different stories, and it doesn't do any of them justice by jamming all of those in together. I know this is supposed to be a 4-part series. I think it would have done much better if it was a TV show.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying too.
I was like, this is 3 hours. If he does 4 of these 3-hour movies, that is on par to be longer than the Lord of the Rings extended edition saga. And it doesn't, so far from what I've seen, it does not merit that. He's not doing himself any service by doing all of the stories. He should have picked 1, maybe even 2, because there are some of them that get kind of branch and tangled together. But all 4 or 3, it was hard to keep track because some of them kind of touch and whatever. But the multiple different stories is not serving this movie well at all. Especially not 3. Who's got 3 hours? He could have stuck to one of the storylines and made a very solid 1:45 movie. Yeah. And I'd be super happy because I love Westerns. That's maybe my biggest angry point right here is people are going to go see this and be like, yeah, I'm right. I don't like Westerns. Because most people don't say that they like Westerns. And then, you know, once in a blue moon, we'll get one like this and it's not very good. So, I don't know. I got a lot of bones to pick. I love Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
But this, I can't ignore how not good this movie was. Convince the critics out there to go see this one.
Critics, we don't get too many Westerns, you know? There's not too many out there these days. And in this 3-hour movie, you get so many stories, and I think that's the reason you should go watch it. You know, it's 3 hours, 4 different kind of stories in one movie. Check it out. I mean, it's a Western. It's Kevin Costner. You know, support him. Support the guy. That's the only reason to really watch it, too. Just support the guy.
Support the man. He needs it. He leverages home. Fanboys, I'm going to try and talk you out of going to see this. I think the biggest thing on the docket is it's a time commitment, and it's slow, and it's not very... There are exciting parts, but it's not, for the most part, very exciting. There's a lot of things out there that they could go do. Like, you could watch, you know, all sorts of TV. You could watch 3 episodes of The Boys. You know, you could catch up on TV. You could go play the new Elden Ring DLC. Like, you got better things to do with 3 hours.
Off to the ratings.
Off to the ratings.
Where am I at with this movie? You know, I did doze off a little bit, but you know, besides it being 3 hours, he did keep me engaged. So where I'm at with my rating, I'm at a like. You know, I didn't hate the movie. It kept me engaged, and I'm somewhat looking forward to, you know, finishing the story. That's why I'm at a like. You know, I still want to, you know, I want to push it further. Let me get more taste of it. I want to know what happens. And that's where I'm at. It wasn't amazing. I didn't love it, but I'm willing to watch the second one.
I don't want to break this to you, but I don't think we're going to get all 4 parts. I don't think with how bad this one is, and I don't think it's going to do well in the box office. The second one coming up in August, I don't think it's going to do much better. That means we ain't getting part 3 and 4.
You did say that right off the bat.
I know. I hate to break it to you, but I don't think we're going to get to see the full thing.
So where are you at?
For the first time in a long time, I'm actually angry.
Oh,
like, I'm all the way at one end of the spectrum.
I mean, you are the fan of the Westerns, man. I don't blame you.
I think the biggest, it just wasn't one movie. It didn't conclude anywhere. There was hardly any sort of climax or anything, really. For one storyline, maybe you got a climax for it, but for the rest of them, they just kind of
I didn't like how they
out.
did the end, too. That was really... What do you call that? Like, that was really TV like.
It was like next time on Horizon American Saga. It was like a trailer for part 2. Yeah. I was like, hi.
Yeah, I didn't like how they did that.
They clearly had shot it already, which most of us know. You're following it, and then they're like, "Here's everything you can see in the next one." Yeah. It's like, well, you had 3 hours. You could have shown us any of this.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated with how not good that was.
Kevin Costner, you let him down.
Thanks for watching, Fanboys and Critics. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. And as a point of note, we are having a separate Fanboy and Critic channel. We're going to post this here on the Rogue Nerds, and then also on the Fanboy and Critic channel for the next month or 2. You guys go join up there, because we're going to separate the game stuff from the movie stuff, and some other, and the foodie stuff. It's all going to be separated a little bit. So go, if you want more movie reviews, go to the Fanboy and Critic one and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you next week. No, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Don't forget to buy our merch.
Yeah, get the merch.
Buy the merch. We got hats, shirts, and we'll see you for the next review.
I love the Westerns. I don't even think this was it was...
Bebop is angry too.
Bebop is also angry.